Hi everybody, welcome. It's so good to see so many of you back here. I know I make people mad sometimes, but unfortunately I'm not a crowd pleaser or follower, and what I sometimes know will not be good for the channel may still be my opinion or my truth. And after all, that is why I'm here, to give my opinion. Otherwise, I could just as well have copied Taz or Murky or Paula or whoever. I could have transcribed their videos and read it to you. But that is not me. I've never really belonged to any group, at least not for long, and even as an introvert, I still speak my mind when needed. However, having said that, most of my current subscribers are loyal and supportive, and although they do not always agree with me, they know that tomorrow I'll again speak about something they do agree with, and they know that every now and then I do come out with something unique, because I do have a different perspective, and the few so-called informants and helpers I have also have a different perspective, because they are not from the elite who, for instance, send bongo bongo messages to Lady C, but rather, shall we say, working class people. So my loyal subscribers do not get their knickers in a knot when I say something they do not agree with and announce their departure. But there are those who, like Harry and Meghan, do not tolerate a difference of opinion. But, well, the channel may have lost a few subscribers, but I feel that I have won, because after 6 years of doing this, I can still sleep at night and have very little I need to feel guilty about. Anyway, guys, later today I shall post a short of the market and festival we had yesterday. Dragon Man was again the ostrich mascot, and as his teacher, friend and handler had a job elsewhere, I had to help him. No joke, guys, my backside is rather sore today, and so are my calf muscles. To keep a 100+ something kilograms 6-foot guy in a 7-foot ostrich costume from falling over on a wagon pulled by a tractor takes some muscle. But never mind, let's talk about the royals, shall we? Or rather, let's talk about the ex-royals, because I, like I know many of you, are stunned, flabbergasted, and just about had enough. Let's just take a quick rundown of the past, and I'll try and keep it short, okay, so that I don't bore you. Meghan and Harry had gotten up to many shenanigans while still in the royal family, the biggest of which was the confusion about Archie's birth and the paperwork, which is to date still an issue, and the fact that we still, after more than 5 years, do not know who witnessed the birth is indeed still a huge issue. Then they left, supposedly back to Canada, but no, then they had to cause drama, which led to Tyler Perry using his private jet and offering his home for their freedom flight. Then we had the James Corden interview, the Ellen DeGeneres show, and all the Skype calls, the magazine articles, and worst of all, the Oprah interview with its 20+ lies, followed by their own mockumentary. In each of these appearances, as well as the Archetypes podcast Meghan so generously entertained us with, shade was thrown at the royal family. And in the Oprah interview and the mockumentary, it wasn't just shade, it was downright lies and terrible insults. Then came Harry's book, and we are not even going to go into that. We have already done that, and you can go watch my old videos on the book. But suffice it to say, we heard all about their todgers and how Harry contemplated killing his father, for instance. We also heard clear confessions about his past and present drug use in the book. And then this led to the Heritage Foundation's case against the Department of Homeland Security, in which they sought information on Harry's visa. Although it was ruled that it was not going to be made public, the reductions in the judge's summary clearly indicates that there is something else being withheld other than Harry's drug use, and it appears that the Heritage Foundation is going to appeal. In my humble opinion, it will be an easy appeal, one which will likely be heard after the election. The reason why I'm saying it will be an easy appeal is because the redactions has nothing to do with what the Heritage Foundation asked for. The Heritage Foundation asked for Harry's submission with regards to his past drug use. That was absolutely all they were interested in. So Homeland Security could have redacted absolutely everything else, or the judge could have ordered that only the requested portion be given to the Heritage Foundation. On appeal, though, the Heritage Foundation could also very well bring in what Harry said about his drug use on United States soil, and that, my dears, could indeed constitute a federal crime. And now there is something else. I heard rumors about this 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I actually wanted to talk about it, but I got sidetracked and forgot about it. But in today's Daily Mail, there is a glaring headline, and it reads, "Exclusive, Harry and Meghan's missing millions. Archwell Foundation didn't declare $4 million on the latest tax return." As all eyes turn to Sussex's upcoming declarations with questions over where the money went. Yep, and this is not the first time since Harry and Meghan got married that charity money went missing, is it? Somewhere at the end of 2021 or early in 2022, I made a comprehensive video with the collaboration of a CA and ex-banking official about the missing money which came from the Royal Foundation, and I told the story about Sussex Royal becoming MWX and that being dissolved in a day or two later. If you are really, really interested in that story, you can scroll down and find it. The point is that the Royal Foundation was found to have made no mistake. The money they paid over to Sussex Royal was indeed Harry's contribution to the Royal Foundation. But the rest, what happened to the money thereafter, was actually swept under the rug, and the Royal Foundation was actually closed, still having some debt. And now we have a similar situation in the United States. Harry and Meghan's charity, the Archwell Foundation, was gifted 2 grants of more than $6 million over the last 2 years, but both are missing from the charity's latest 990 form tax return. Archwell only declared $2,911,000. Now, this is a bombshell, and one Harry and Meghan and the Archwell Foundation can barely afford, as it was only recently able to spend and raise funds after charity officials branded it delinquent and not in good standing. And don't forget about the recent report of Meghan being a dictator in high heels and making grown men cry, remember? But anyway, there is yet another mystery attached to this, in quotation marks, missing money. The one amount in question, $6 million, came to Archwell through the Fidelity Investments Charitable Gift Fund, and the second amount of $10,050 came to them through Tis Best Philanthropy. Both grants were made in the 2022-23 financial year. Both Fidelity and Tis Best grants were made in the second half of 2022 and the first half of 2023. So now the IRS is waiting for Archwell Foundation's 2023-2024 tax return to see whether these amounts will pop up in the latest tax return. In other words, Harry and Meghan are again being given special treatment because, ask yourself, where you would have been had you made such a, again in inverted commas, mistake. Would you have been given another year to come up with a story and or an excuse? Or then the money, I would say. I think not. But that is not the mystery I'm talking about. The thing is, where did that money come from? I mean, really came from. In 2021, an anonymous 10 million donation was made through the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, which is a mega-rich non-profit which serves as a vehicle for the extremely rich to give out tax-free grants anonymously. And the same thing happened here. So who made those donations through Fidelity and Tis Best? However, what this does prove, though, is that the Archwell Foundation is indeed being held together by a handful, if that many, wealthy donors. It would be interesting to know who they are. It can, however, be anybody, because these foundations and philanthropies will never disclose who it was. It could have been anyone, from King Charles to P. Diddy or Oprah or Tyler Perry or David Foster. We likely will never know. A small coincidence maybe, but as I was scrolling to see whether I could make any connections, I found an article about an investigation into the King's Foundation, also for an amount of 6 million. Now look, it may just be coincidence, okay? I really do not know. And of course, that particular story died away. Allegedly, King Charles knew nothing about it. Blah, blah, blah. So we'll likely never know what the truth is. The point is, and the reason why I brought up some of the issues of the past, is that I despair and wonder what our countries and the world has come to. Here's a prince and his wife, of whom the prince had clearly committed treason, admitted to being an addict, a wife who can no longer distinguish fact from fiction, and who is a habitual liar. And now it appears as if they may have tried to commit fraud. Of course, we'll have no choice but to wait until November and the new tax returns. But why should we wait when there is already so much, enough for them both to be prosecuted in both the United States and the United Kingdom? The depth of their grifting and lying and manipulating is coming out on a daily basis now. Yet the United States government is using your tax dollars to fight on their behalf against the Heritage Foundation. After the United Kingdom government had spent millions to defend themselves in Harry's security case. Yet, the United States does not want to deport Harry, and the United Kingdom does not want to take his titles. So what will it take? For him to commit a murder? Or will that also be covered up? Anyway, guys, I have a lot of things coming up which we can and have to talk about. So until we meet on the next one, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.